How you doing today? Well, today is the day I got to get some confidence in one type of bait. And today, it's the swim jig. How do I find my confidence in this bait? I've been fishing it for some time. I really haven't had any success. But today is the day where I'm just going to say, this is all you're fishing with. You're either going to get confidence or you're not. Let's catch fish with something that I have very little confidence in. But we're going to try to change that today. The thing about the swim jig is, I think we've forgotten how versatile a swim jig is. Fished it a couple times and I really didn't have very much success. But I threw one on, I don't know why, but I threw one on and I just decided I was just gonna fish it. I wasn't gonna get back and forth with a bunch of different lures. I just decided I was gonna commit to the lure and work my ass off just fishing it. I got this paired up with a Keitech. That is just a paddle tail swim bait. You could use any brand. I like the Keitechs. They're a little softer, so you may have to do some change outs more often. I got to build some confidence in this bait, and the only way I'm going to do it is just to continually fish it hard. I hear from a lot of the YouTubers and the pros, they're using this and they're catching a lot of fish. Swim jig time, let's do it. You know, I think we forget how versatile the swim jig is. You can fish it in so many different ways. You can just basically run it along the bottom and jig it up and pop it up and let it do its thing. And you could just bring it back like you would a spinner bait, basically. So it's a very versatile bait, and I think we don't give it the credit it deserves. Like I said, I could just swim this thing along. I can keep it up, I can keep it down. And we got the skirt on there. Got a little poo-poo on there right now. You can run it in the weeds and it'll tear out of there real nice. You can bump it on rocks on the bottom. You can put this anywhere. You've got a really nice weed guard on it. Right now, I'm just gonna swim it. The one thing about a swim jig that you need to remember is the hooks are big on them. And when it's time to go, you really gotta lay into the fish. Almost like a frog. Give yourself a very good hook set. You want to blast that hook set. So I know we got a lot of weeds over here. I've only lost, and we got one. With the swim jig. And we pulled him right out of those weeds. Come on, buddy. What do we got here? Decent size. Decent size. Here we go. On the swim jig. And here's what I'm saying. These hooks are not very, or they're so big. Here we go. Nice fish. Pulled him right out of the weeds. That might be a keeper. That's about a 12.5 incher. All right. Let's get him back. On the swim jig. What was that, our third cast? So you want to build confidence. Go to your, wherever you're going, just bring one rig. This is not a great jig, to be honest with you. It's kind of a less expensive jig. You can get these swim jigs for cheap, less than $4 or $5, and I basically just landed that right in the weeds. He hit it pretty quick. There we go. Let's get back out there. Nice catch. It's pretty weedy out there. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. So you're gonna find that a lot of times when you do get weeds on these, well, this fell off to the hook. it's going to start up around the around your line tie where you're tying it on. That's usually where the weeds will pick up in this area here. It's likely that if they do end up here, it's not from the cast out. Or, I'm sorry, sometimes when you cast, when this drops in, it will grab some weeds. So depending on where you're casting out, you may want to start bringing it in earlier. Let's see if this guy had a friend. You know, if I'm going to get in the weeds and not lose my lure and be able to tear through those and bring a few weeds back, I'll take it. We're in some weeds pretty good here. Oh yeah, we're going to be bringing home a mess of weeds on this one. It'd be awesome if it was a fish, but I don't think so. I think we just got ourselves a big old pile of weeds. I was just telling you how this thing doesn't weed up. Look at this mess of weeds. Let's get rid of this. Oh my goodness. Look at this mess of weeds. We must have landed in it perfect. All right. I did bring my bait back. So what you could do also, not only swimming them, so you get the best of all the worlds of what jigs can do when you're running a swim jig. If you've ever fished a football jig, they kind of break through some of the weed factor pretty good, but they're not much for swimmers. Kind of try to find their way to the bottom. These you can let hit the water and just start cranking them in and just swim that guy right back. Different speeds. If you want to slow down, you can slow down and let that work the bottom. You know, pop it up just like a football jig. It's going to keep that tail out and you can get the bottom contact. It's pretty soft bottom here, so there's not much to talk about on this, but you know, we can run it low, run it high. If you want this thing to swim a little higher. Oh, I'm catching a lot of weeds today. I fished here yesterday and I caught 2 fish. I didn't have nearly the amount of weeds that I'm having today. Well, I'm on my lunch break and I'm going to be throwing out this swim bait. See if we can't catch ourselves a lunker. We got this nice big guy. Got to be all of, I don't know, 3-pounder. Nothing like a lunch break lunker. So I'm keeping this a little higher on the water on this one. We had some rain last night. Sometimes that helps out on the fish catches. Got a lot of duckweed, a lot of floating duckweed, and I'm retrieving a lot of that on my retrieves. You can see how much I'm picking up. So we got a lot of floating debris in the water because I hardly hit the ground on this one, but you can see where the weeds are hooking up. They're hanging up on my line. The hook is clean and that's all duckweed. It's basically this floating weed that hangs out there and it gets a little stringy on the bottom. So we're going to take out some clear water here and see if we can do just some nice casts. I'm just going to let that thing hit the bottom. I'll let it get right down there. We're going to jig this guy. We're just going to get some bottom contact and we're just going to feel the bottom. Now you still got that skirt on there, so you can still do some action almost like you would with a spinner bait to pop that skirt open and just kind of blast it open as you give some nice little tugs. That also may help to clean off any debris if we're getting it. This duckweed is going to be a problem today. I can see it. It's really creating a lot of hang up on my lure, so we're going to stay even more open water here. And this one we're just going to do a regular straight retrieve, and these are all the types of ways you can fish this. I think that rainstorm has really created a lot of weed factor, and it's really making it tough on keeping my lure clean. Now we're gonna stay a little bit higher off. We're gonna create a little more speed, and we're just gonna bring our tip up. And that's gonna keep him higher. Closer to the water surface. You can see we're only about a foot or two down. And let this guy sink. Let him, this is going to totally fish this different. You let that get right down to the bottom. And we're just going to work them. Now, if there is rocky bottom, you could certainly just kind of grind the bottom with this guy. My problem here is after that rainstorm, I think we got a lot of weed factor that kind of dropped to the bottom, and I'm just basically capturing it as I'm going here. Our first catch was more of almost like if you were running a football jig. That kind of just fell in, the skirt plopped open, and the fish was excited. And he just came after him and got him. All right. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. We're going to get back in those weeds. We're going to get back in those weeds and see if we can get another fishy out of there. Now we just got a hit. We're going to get back in there. We just got a little hit. Oh, nope, there's a tree or something down there. And that's the thing too with a jig. You're gonna know bottom contact. You're gonna know if you're bumping up on something, especially if you go in a second time and you feel it right in the same place. Yeah, the bottom's super dirty today. Yeah, we got a tree or something down there. I'm bouncing along it. Where some of the other lures you're not really going to get that kind of feel, but we're running close to bottom contact here. All right, we just got the one today on the swim jig, gave it a good shot. Just keep throwing it, keep running it. Eventually you're going to gain that confidence. Caught one fish today. I could be fishing anything and maybe not catch any. Running the swim jig, caught me a fish. I just got to keep running it, and eventually I'm going to build confidence in this particular bait. So don't be afraid to just lock in on a bait once in a while and just say, this is what I'm fishing today. I'm gonna fish till I catch a fish. And that's what I'm doing to gain confidence. You will learn the bait better than you thought you ever could, but you just have to continue with it. You'll get them. Stay consistent, stay persistent. So I decided to step off the dock because a lot of fish actually hang out underneath this dock. So I figured I would come back here and fish the dock from the land, see if I can get somebody interested to come out from underneath the dock. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Okay, let's work our way down here a little bit. We do have another fisherman out there. I don't want to get in his way too much, but I would like to get a little more bottom contact. There is a little bit of rocky bottom here, but not very much. So we're gonna do the very best we can with what we have. Like I said, I know there's rocky bottom down at the end, but we have another fisherman there. So we're just gonna work our line down here and not get too close to the other fisherman. Get a little grind on the bottom. I really like to find those rock piles. And this is definitely the setup to do it. This rod and reel is an absolute bomber. I do have some bait fish jumping around there, so that makes me feel good, and I like to get in that spot. Something's making them jump. You see, we have all that disturbance on the water there. There's likely something getting them excited. So we'll move up a little bit and move over a little bit and see if we can crash the party. It's pretty far. I really got to bomb it, but like I said, I got the rod and reel for the job. So let's see if we can get ourselves to be part of this here. And I'm seeing some bigger breaks on the water, which may mean that some of these little bait fish that are swimming around out there might be getting chased or gobbled up by our friends the bass. Oh, I'm in good shape there. I'm in good shape there. Fortunately, I bird nested because I tried a little too hard to get it out there. Sometimes you get a little too excited. All right, I think we just got the stink eye, so we're gonna make our way back to the dock. It's too bad too, I got a lot of breaking bait fish there. And the shame of it is, he's not even fishing it. Okay, back to the dock. Back to the dock. Oh, we had one there. Followed me out. Couldn't set the hook. We might be able to get a second chance on this guy only because I think he was not in the hook. Damn it, we lost him. So we did have another bite. Ah, that's not good. That is a waste. We just got a face full of weeds. Well, I won't have to worry if I cast in there again because I cleaned all the weeds out. I'm doing a little more swimming now than I did before. Last time I was really kind of doing some bottom drag, but I think now just to keep my lure a little cleaner, I'm gonna do some more swimming. Try to keep them out of the weeds best I can. I got some nice structure right there. I think years ago a tree fell in that area and it's now underwater. And I can feel myself bouncing over the limbs. Okay, I got one more cast. I'm gonna try to get under that tree limb, and that's gonna be it. It's gonna be it. We picked up some weeds. Oh yeah, we picked up some weeds for sure there. I can't end it on a weed catch. I can't end it on that. We're gonna get one more in there. Oh, we got a branch. Yeah, we hooked into a branch. And try to keep that surfaced. If I can keep that surfaced, I should be okay. This is 10-pound fluorocarbon, if you remember. And we fell right into this stick here. Yeah, we just hooked right into this thing. It's gonna happen once in a while. That's the only thing this lure will not protect you from. And that is logs. All right, well, now that we moved that out of the way, let's get back in there. Tell me that didn't scare the life out of every fish in there. Sure it did. All right, we're gonna wrap it up on that one. We were definitely up against some rocks here. It knocked some paint off. My only complaint with this particular jig is that the hook is not very sharp. So I have lost a few fish, but otherwise it's been attracting the fish. I think I've caught about 4 fish on this jig. So it's been a pretty good jig so far. I've been happy with it. Clean up a little bit here. It was a messy day. It really discolored my Keitech. My Keitech's almost green. The duckweed will do that to you. So yeah, we got one today, so that's pretty good. Happy with my results. And like I said, I'm going to stay after it, and I'm just going to keep trying to build more and more confidence with the swim jig. I know it works. I've caught 4 fish on it so far. One today and a couple the other day. So we're going to stay after it. And that's the only way we're going to build confidence, is to continue with it and continue to fish it. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you like this video. It's all about the swim jig and gaining confidence in different baits and what you think you do or don't like. But get out there, get fishing, go catch a big one. Tight lines.